been a little while, and I'm gonna get a video out about some things about March shortly. But I just wanted to do a quick one today. I'm here in the living room, and just thought I'd give you my 2 cents for a minute. So I hate talking about politicians. I think they're slime. Um, they're paid actors and actresses. It's like I was talking to someone about this earlier, and it's like I don't know these people's character. I've never met them, so I've seen their performances. It's like a Hollywood star, right? You take the example I used was Sylvester Stallone. You could say, I don't know, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Hardy. What are some other names? Julia Roberts. You name an actor and an actor or an actress, right? Um, they're performers who are invested in by multinational corporations, which in this case are movie studios. Their vested interest in multinational corporations. They invest in these people. They finance the production of films these people star in. So these people, they're getting paid to put on a convincing performance of a narrative, of an often elaborate narrative that is viewed worldwide by a wide audience. So that's what these vested interests, these multinational corporations, these movie studios pay actors and actresses to do. So it's very simple. They play them to as convincingly as possible, play a part in a narrative, in a story. So at this point in my life, I can't tell the difference between a Hollywood movie, a television show, be it a daytime soap opera, General Hospital, All My Children, what the fuck's the other one? Days of Our Lives. Can't tell the difference between a TV show, a movie, and then the news, the political news. Because pretty much all the news these days, it's all editorialism, it's all emotional, it's a bunch of fucking drama. They don't just give you the facts and let you make up your mind. So the anchors are actors and actresses, and then the politicians are too, because the politicians are paid by vested interests to play a part and tell stories a certain way. So the people giving the politicians the money, the investors, the vested interests, want the actor or actress, want the actors, the politicians, or the media personalities to tell a story a certain way and play a part convincingly. That's what they get paid for. And it's all the same shit. Now, if you want to be an actor or an actress in politics, your prerequisite is like a law degree or a military career or, something that feeds you into government very easily, something that's relatable. But as we've seen, film actors make their way into politics too. But, it's all the same shit. So, getting down to this Katie Britt, she is, what is it? She's like a junior senator from Alabama. I think she was elected last year. And it's like, the first woman to be a senator in Alabama. And it's like, well, good for her as long as it's not affirmative action. As long as she's qualified for the job, right? But, something I suspect with her, with what sort of actress she is and what part she's being paid to play, she might be like trying to bridge the gap to a bunch of Karens, like a bunch of woke middle class women, because she's got people behind her going, "You go, girl, first female senator from Alabama." And it's like, well, good for her. You shouldn't be stopped from holding that position because you're a woman, right? But there's a lot of woke deep state-ish potential with her. It's like Nikki Haley, who, just dropped out of the presidential race, but she was like, yeah, we need to fight every country in the world. We need to bomb Iran and fight the Russians and fight the Chinese. Oh yeah, we need central bank digital currency. She was an actress on behalf of all these deep state fuckers and the things they make money off of. So yeah, this Katie Britt, there's definite potential, where they want her to convert some Democrat Karens to the Republican Party. Who the fuck knows? I don't trust her. And the point is like I've never met her. So just like Arnold Schwarzenegger, Bruce Willis, who are some actresses? I don't know. Meryl Streep, Margot Robbie, whoever the fuck, right? I've only seen their performances. I've never met them. I cannot make judgment calls on whether these people are sincere or what their character is. I can only watch their performances. And interviews are performances too, because if somebody's a good actor, you can never know until you really know the person. And I'm never going to know any of these people. So yeah, so I'm not going to put her little spiel. She did like a little, there were like these 1.5-minute videos because she did a response to Biden's State of the Union that he did last night. And it was just pathetic. She was straight out of like a daytime soap opera, so like a General Hospital, All My Children, Days of Our Lives. It was like she's getting all emotional, but it's like it's fucking cheesy. Like it's not even real. It's like the worst acting you can imagine. So yeah, this should get people's attention that like none of this is real. Like this whole political thing is a big fucking, it's a burlesque. So we hear this word burlesque, we think burlesque show, we think, striptease, nudity. A burlesque, the definition of a burlesque, it doesn't involve nudity. A burlesque is a performance, can be any performance that's put on in order to get a rise out of people, to get people excited. So, politics is a big fucking burlesque. And in my opinion, these people are like, one step above like fucking pedophilia politicians. It's like they'll fucking tell you anything to get money and to get your support. So it's like some of them are sometimes needed disruptions, like Trumpy. He was a needed disruption, but he's not a solution. The guy was a Democrat until he decided to run for president. And then in his book, he said, if I ever run for politics, I'm going to switch parties and I'm going to destroy the party I joined and piss everyone off. It's in his book. I think he wrote it around 2010 or something. So, yeah, I just don't trust these people because they're actors who get paid to act. And the news is always calling people of interest in these narratives on the world stage, because all the world is a stage, right? The news is always calling people of interest in news stories actors. They're always saying actors, state actors, political actors, bad actors. So they're telling you what they're up to, but you have to be able to put two and two together. So I'll put a link to it's a little snippet of her little, I don't know, tirade, or her little, she's pooping her pants and acting really badly. It's from Forbes. I'll put that in the comments. I don't want to embed that in this video because I can get a copyright strike and all that shit. So, check it out and see what you think. But, I mean, if you can't catch the bad acting, then good luck to you, because the next few years are really bad years for group identity. If your identity is made up of the groups that you quote unquote belong to. I don't recommend belonging to a group. Um, Clubs are dangerous. But yeah, the next few years, if your identity is pretty much mostly or all invested into, group identities, what groups you identify with, you're gonna have some terrible fucking years ahead because it's all falling apart. And in a sense, this is no time to be rational. So I mean, of course, you have to be rational in a sense, but the rationality that we're used to, that we grew up with, where it's like, oh, important people who tell you the things you like to hear, like politicians, they tell you the truth because, they're very important people and they have beautiful houses and their wardrobes are amazing. That's the mentality we've had for fucking ever. It's like, especially, with the American dream, because the default culture in America has been this Anglo-Saxon Protestant culture and worldview. And in that worldview, prettiness is godliness. So it's like we see pretty people and we're like, oh, they must be great people because they just told me everything I want to hear about the world and what the world should be like and how people should act. They just told me everything I like to hear. They must be good people. Before I go, that brings up another point. If you're being told the truth should upset or disturb you in some way because it's going to challenge your assumptions about how things work, how the world is, and what your thought process is. You have to sacrifice the comfort of your assumptions and your emotional comfort zones in order to learn something that is real. We have to make sacrifices, and that's an interesting thing I could go on about. It's like, the whole world regurgitates slogans, especially politics and religions. And one of the big, especially the Protestant slogans is that Christ made sacrifice unnecessary. We no longer need to perform sacrifices because Christ sacrificed himself. And it's like, that's people don't even know what that means. One thing with Christians is they think like the pagan world was like fucking evil and ignorant. Well, it wasn't. Christianity actually stopped killing people for not being the right type of Christian or reading the right Bible or not being a Christian because they were eventually civilized by Greek and Roman philosophy and culture that came from the pagan eras of those cultures. So what I'm talking about is the Renaissance and the Enlightenment, during the 16 and 1700s. That's when Christians just stopped fucking killing people at will for being infidels. And that was brought about by the Greek and Roman culture and philosophy from the pagan era. So in the pagan era, people, they practiced religious sacrifices. Now, what that really was, there were degenerate societies at times that, would sacrifice humans. This was something people did out of extreme fear because they were afraid they were going to starve, the harvest was going to be shitty or something. But, really what this was, when this was done in a sane and balanced way, people sacrificed comforts. They sacrificed junk food, alcohol, drugs. They sacrificed habits. They sacrificed behaviors they wanted to get rid of. They sacrificed their assumptions about, things they needed to assume about how they worked, how the world works, how other people work, what other people owe them. That's what sacrifice really was. You make these personal sacrifices. You sacrifice your comfort zone. You sacrifice things that comfort you but keep you from growing. So that's what sacrifice was. So this whole thing of like, oh, Christ made sacrifice unnecessary. Thus saith the Lord. It's basically, it's a hindrance towards growth. It stunts evolution. So yeah, think about that. But yeah, this whole Katie Britt thing, if you can't see the bad acting, the shitty soap opera acting, good luck to you. That's it. We'll talk about some March astrology soon. Have a nice one.